Hello and welcome to Money Matters. Every month we'll take stock of the market and ask two analysts to give us their stock picks. Tonight, Alex Wong and Kenny Tang go head-to-head and tell us why they've chosen their winners. Tonight's victor will return next month and face a new challenger. Let's go.
This week, we asked veteran investors Alex Wong and Kenny Tang to rake through the autumn leaves for a couple of equities they'd store for the winter. Alex Wong's first choice is a property weekly, China Resources Land, stock code 1109. Sentiment in the mainland property sector has been sapped by the bad news surrounding the country's most indebted developer. Fears over China Evergrande's $19 billion cash crunch appear to have eased after a deal was worked out with a group of strategic investors. That means our weakling will soon turn into a powerhouse.
The concern on Evergrande actually dragged down the whole Chinese property sector. But China Resources Beijing Land would not be the one which would have problem. So this is only a short-term sentiment thing. So this is a good time to buy. And also, I think the market will like its model because this is one of the developers which has developed quite a lot of commercial properties and has quite a strong stream of recurring income.
The steadiness of its rental income is one reason the company, while trading lower along with the overall property market, has traded at a premium over its peers. Its competitors are largely dependent on sales for their results. If the mainland government resumes its deleveraging drive that was underway before its COVID-19 response, will property developers like China Resources suffer from the leaner credit?
The deleveraging plan actually was a bit of the consolidation within the sector.
Oh, okay.
So the one with healthier financial ratio actually would be the one to benefit. So, and also China Resources Beijing actually is one of the best. So that would be okay. Actually, I think it would benefit if we see the consolidation to go on. So this would not be a big problem for it. I think the problem is we may see an exodus of investors in this sector. If some things go wrong, then we may see a short-term oversold condition. But that, I think, may not damage the value of this company.
Alex sets a target price of $38 and a stop loss of $30. Alex's second pick is one of those companies that people need through thick and thin. It so happens that Nine Dragons Paper, stock code 2689, produces both thick and thin versions of its products, paper packaging. Alex recognizes this is a quintessentially old economy stock, but believes people still can find value in these counters.
So I think people would like the manufacturing sector more, because this would be essential. I think the products are essential because packaging paper would be essential, and the sector actually is consolidated. So only a few players left. So, and also if you look at the results, actually they deliver very good results just in September. It means it could survive the current environment.
The stock has lost its sexy growth profile since it listed, having a PE of 9 times and a price to book of 1 times. Being the Corolla of the Chinese stock universe still has its attractions, though. As more volatile shares may melt down in a crisis, stalwarts like Nine Dragons provide stability and balance in a portfolio.
There are 2 big players in this market, and another one is smaller than this one a little bit. And if you look at the latest results, actually margins is okay, and I think people would go for this kind of company because the products are essential, and then margins are okay and cash flow are strong. So this presents some values. So people probably they would like to go for growth still, but they would like to balance the portfolio a little bit.
A dividend of just under 4%, while not generous, is decent. The company is vulnerable to, well, not much.
The company used to be highly leveraged, but it already paid down a lot of debt over the decades. So the gearing is very healthy.
Barring a California-like calamity burning up priceless trees, he sets a target price of $11 and a stop loss of 9. Kenny Tang's first choice is Ganfeng Lithium, stock code 1772. a major lithium production company in mainland China and also a major supplier to Tesla, the U.S. electric car and battery maker. Chairman Elon Musk wants to churn out 25 million electric cars a year. They'll all require batteries to power them down the road.
Their sales in the mainland China are still up more than 20%. And also the government policy of the mainland China is going to support the development of the new energy car. So I think it's likely to remain a very high growth. And also this company, lithium, the market share is account for around the global supply more than 50%.
The lithium it supplies to Tesla, which just opened its factory in Shanghai, will account for 30% of Ganfeng's output. Not only is the company a manufacturer, it also operates lithium-producing mines.
Half and half, because apart from the miner and also their products, also they have some value add on that, and also they got the patent on the different compound products. So they can enjoy a much more gross profit margin, and the average gross profit margin is around 20%.
The company could be tripped up by the very slow growth of the new energy vehicle market.
The trend in the new energy car, although the global market is going to likely to increase the production volume of the energy car, and also there's many countries in the coming years, they target near 70% of the new production of the automobile industry will be going to new energy. But whether they can attain this target, I think is still challenging.
Progress in the development of new materials to produce batteries could also eat into the business in the future. Kenny sets a target price of $45 and the stop loss of $35. Kenny's second choice continues the new energy theme, Xinyi Solar, stock code 968, a maker of solar panels. The company also benefits from government policy to cut down on emissions produced by fossil fuel-burning vehicle engines.
The target is going to increase the proportion of the non-petrochemical energy from now 15% of the total energy. The target to 2030 is going to be 20%. So which means that every year they need to increase the solar capacity around 30 to 50 gigawatt.
So demand for solar glass is expected to remain strong. The main risk to Xinyi is that as the conversion to new energy power generation is being pushed by government policy, the speed of that conversion may vary in the next few years. Kenny sets a target price at $13 and a stop loss at $9.30. Before we go, we asked both analysts for some free advice about the markets. Here's what they said.
Prepare for some volatility in October, because I will have the US election coming. And if you look at the Hong Kong market in September, actually we had been quite dull and quite soft. And I think some investors actually are liquidating positions in Hong Kong. Probably they are preparing for the election volatility, and also probably they are preparing for the upcoming mega IPO.
The Hang Seng that is still depend on the election of the U.S. because when approaching the election day of the U.S., then I think the China and the U.S. The relationship is going to more tense, and so maybe there's a lot negative news coming from the U.S. side. So I think the market will volatile, but I don't think it will drop too much because the liquidity in the market remains strong.
The analyst with the best performing stock will return next month to go head to head. Eurozone business growth ground to a halt this month as the service industry slammed into reverse, knocked by a resurgence in coronavirus cases. Governments reintroduced restrictions and urged citizens to stay at home. The IHS Markit's Flash Purchasing Managers Index sank to 50.1 in September from August's 51.9. That renewed downturn for services more than offset the strongest manufacturing growth in 2 years, with the factory PMI climbing to just over a 2-year high of 53.7 from 51.7. This fueled fears the EU economy was chugging along at 2 speeds, one for services and the other for manufacturing, making the recovery from the pandemic-induced slump lumpier than expected. Locally, the government scolded the catering business sector, asking once again that businesses strictly comply with the relaxed virus prevention rules. At the same time, an industry lobby group also warned members not to grow complacent, noting many were flouting the rules. The fear is the government will not hesitate imposing stricter regimes in the event of an outbreak, further eroding the sector's activity. Operators must strictly comply with a series of requirements and restrictions. Among these, the number of customers at any bar or pub must not exceed half of the normal seating capacity. No live performances or dancing. Masks must be worn at all times, except when consuming food or drink. Body temperature screening must be conducted, and hand sanitizers must be provided. Reuters reports that sources in China's Ant Group say it plans to raise more funds on the Shanghai Nasdaq-style star market than in Hong Kong as part of its $30 billion dual listing, a major thumbs up of the year-old mainland exchange. The financial technology firm backed by Alibaba plans to do a simultaneous listing in Hong Kong and Shanghai, and could be the world's largest initial public offering and come as soon as October. Ant is already the world's most valuable unicorn, or billion-dollar unlisted tech firm. Ant did not confirm the size, timetable, or other key details of the offering in its preliminary prospectus. Rumor has it hearings have already begun in Hong Kong. But sources said that while the specific percentage breakdown between the Hong Kong and Shanghai floats was yet to be finalized, Ant, after initial investor feedback, will likely list more shares up north to chase the fatter valuations the Star Board has delivered to other listees before.
Coming up after the break, design that can make any space seem like you're living large. Money Matters returns in a moment. Welcome back to Money Matters. For expats, particularly those from Western countries, making Hong Kong's small flats feel like home can be challenging. In tonight's Properties segment, reporter Alice Kahn talks to an Australian designer to see how she made her flat feel larger while at the same time putting her personal stamp on it. Hong Kong is an island. Many flats have sea views, but the downside is insufficient living space. Australian designer Ellie Bradley just moved into this 1,800 square foot flat a few weeks ago. She renovated before moving in. This unit has 3 bedrooms and a large living room with a balcony connected to a dining area. As these 2 walls are structural, Ellie couldn't pull them down to make the living room larger. One way she makes the flat look bigger is to avoid unnecessary embellishments. She says her style is refined and sophisticated.
The basis of refined sophistication is modern and contemporary. So the bones of the building are modern and contemporary. So it's straight lines, tall ceilings, minimal space, minimal walls, minimal colour. And then layered on top of that is the interest. So we've got things from travels, we've got artwork, interesting pieces of furniture married with more modern furniture, married with artwork.
Ellie says many expats struggle to live in small flats.
I'd always lived in houses. I'd always had back gardens, pools. So I did find it very difficult to live in an enclosed space. The windows, having big windows, helped us a lot in making the space feel like we were at home.
Luckily, Ellie's new flat enjoys a 180-degree sea view overlooking Llama Island. She created more living room space by placing her sofa and chairs close to the balcony door.
The placement of just one singular sofa gives you a lovely view and outlook. And then I've kind of paired it with like 2 beautiful antique parka chairs. We can open up the doors. I've got 2 outdoor chairs that we use. And then this space becomes a bit of an inside-outside living space, which is beautiful. And then you can you've essentially increased your living room space by amount of square footage from the balcony. But it gives you that beautiful sense of inside-outside living in an apartment.
At the back of the flat, where the dining room is, it's darker. So Ellie put a large mirror on the wall to reflect the natural light coming from the living room. The main color theme of this unit is white. The wall is painted in matte to brighten up the space. Another reason for using white is to make her accessories pop.
I wanted the light to, the natural light to be slightly absorbed into the paint and into the wall. There's also the fundamental fact of all the colour that I've got in the room. I didn't want it clashing. So as you can see behind me, I've got brightly coloured design books. I've got brightly coloured artworks and glasses. And I really wanted that to pop off a wall. Like in an art gallery, makes artwork sing and not clash with other colours or patterns on walls.
Ellie continues with a white theme with her sofa and carpet.
This choice of fabric, it's a viscose linen cotton mix, so it has a slight shine to it. So instead of absorbing light such as a cotton or a linen, being a natural product, it reflects light a bit more. It allows the light to bounce around the room.
In the master bedroom, Ellie uses more color and wallpaper.
Ellie, what is your inspiration of design of this room?
Well, initially I loved the space, but essentially I took the water as the inspiration. So I love the blues and the greys that we get from the clouds and storms coming past. So I took the colour and then found a wallpaper that I love, which is the flamingos. And it gives a beautiful calming feel to a room. Using blues and greys gives a really lovely calming feel. And then each colour, there's an individual colours have been picked out for the curtains, the lampshades, the blues in the bed linen, the whites. And then I've put black in just to make everything pop a little bit more.
The colors in her son's bedroom are inspired by the view, with a white wardrobe door and blue interior. And she's added a bit of fun to the room's lighting.
And I can change the color. My favorite is probably Savannah Sunset.
She uses layering to make the design more interesting. Soft furnishings on hard surfaces do the trick.
When we talk about design, we talk about the hard and the soft. So the hard is things like your walls, your floors, tiles, windows, ceilings, things like that. Things that are fixed, things that are hard. And generally then what you layer on top is the soft. So it's the soft furnishing. So that'll be your chairs, your sofas, accent chairs, cushions. You don't want everything to be all one fabric. So mixing linen with cotton, with silk, with leather.
Ellie also pairs similar patterns with the furniture, such as this black striped cushion, which matches the gray vein of this marble coffee table. She also mixes round and straight-edged items together, like this round mirror next to the square picture frame.
I've got an antique globe, and then I've got a globe freestanding fireplace. Then I've got the circles of the tables, and then I've got the circle of the ottoman. And in a rectangular room, the circles just add that little bit of femininity that's required, just to soften all the hard edges that we have.
Ellie says she had to redesign the inside of the wardrobe to make more space for her clothes.
For us ladies, we like to have long dresses, and I'm sick to death of my long dresses being like shoved up one end of the wardrobe, and they all get crushed because you've got the lower bar that goes across it, the wardrobe.
She also redid her shoe cabinet to make it more spacious and attractive.
So I actually ripped them all out and started again, kept the interior, but I redid the doors. And then I saw these beautiful solid brass handles from the UK. So it just kind of finishes the room off beautifully. And if you want to have a look inside, that's the storage that we have, with loads of storage up behind the beam that rises up higher, which is great.
Ellie says with a bit of thought and patience, people can build design themes in their own flats, regardless of the size.
A cafe in St. Petersburg, Russia is minimizing waste by serving food in edible plates with edible cutlery. The crockery and cutlery is freshly baked to order while you wait and accompanies soups, drinks, and pastries. Freshly rolled and ready to be baked, this dough is being turned into edible cups for a new eco-cafe. Alongside freshly made soups and pastries, customers can eat pretty much everything else here too. Give them a chance and they'll have a crack at the tables eventually. The owner and man about to operate on his facial hair says the customers really dig into their dishes, meaning there's little or nothing to clean up afterwards, except hair clippings. Not to mention less washing up. Good for nature, bad for dishwashers. That's one of your environmental traps. What's good for some isn't so hot for others. So how do you eat soup from a pastry plate with pastry cutlery? Obviously on an empty stomach. The bowls and cups easily hold liquids and stay crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Customers come for the food, but the curiosity factor is proving to be some added seasoning to the business. But for some customers, it's the dearth of waste at the end of lunch that's attracted them. And this girl says, I really like the idea that the planet's ecology isn't threatened by any waste from this eatery. But I think the crust loosened my braces. I'm lawyering up. Having your cake? To save the planet, here you could have your cake, the plate, and the cutlery, and eat it too. To St. Louis, formerly of the Confederate South, Missouri, where a Black Lives Matter protest morphed into a new waltz for the Show Me State, and all without federal agents involved. This barefoot couple did the two-step with a group of protesters who were passing through their neighborhood. They did not like, they did declare. Hefting her 32 like a G&T, the lady Mint Jew lipped the pack on her lawn. None of her trash talk triggered an incident even though her finger was on the trigger the whole time. And the man of the house? Is that a machine gun in his hands or a banjo?
Whether it's the defunding of police...
Talk about shooting to fame. The now well-heeled couple delivered speeches to the assembled online throng at the RNC convention, warning of the demise of civilization and lower property values. And what came of their big shot at fame? Not much, but they promised to stick to their guns. Lord deliver us.
That's Money Matters for this week. Join us next week to look at how COVID has impacted the fitness industry and how some changes are here to stay. Thanks for watching. Good night.